The Experts with Kristen Levine. On today's show, Jamie Popper, Dr. Marty Becker, Alexis Devine.
Hey there, pet lovers. I'm Kristen Levine, and welcome to The Experts. This is a show where we bring together the brightest minds in pet care to answer your most pressing questions. This is kind of like your all-access pass to expert advice from the best in the biz. Now, we love having you as part of our pet-loving community, and we want to hear from you if you have a question about your furry family member. So here's what you have to do. Record your question on video and send it to dogtv.com/experts, and you might be featured on a future episode. Now, today's episode is extra special because we're coming to you from Global Pet Expo in Orlando. This is the premier event for everything pet related, and it's where industry leaders, experts, and all the innovators come together, and we're so excited to be part of the action here at the show. All right, now today I'm joined by three fantastic experts. We always have great ones, and today you're gonna love them. They're bringing a unique perspective to pet care. Let's meet them now. First, we have Dr. Marty Becker, affectionately known as America's veterinarian. Dr. Becker has dedicated his life to enhancing the health of pets and their human companions. He is the founder of Fear Free, a revolutionary initiative aimed at preventing and alleviating pet fear, stress, and anxiety. With over 22 books to his name, including 3 New York Times bestsellers. And I don't know what he's doing over here, but I'm losing my concentration. And nearly 2 decades as the resident veterinary contributor on Good Morning America, his contributions to veterinary medicine are literally unparalleled. Please welcome Dr. Marty Becker.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you.
What were you showing off over there while I was trying to read your intro?
My son lives in Portland. That's an edible, a little whiskey, and I end up with a tattoo.
An edible, a little whiskey. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Who have you ever seen anybody had a business tattoo before?
No.
That's pretty rare.
I have a business tattoo.
You do?
Yeah.
The way you're pointing, I don't think you better show me.
Yeah.
Or maybe you better.
So I guess business tattoos are the new thing. No more business cards, people. All right. Next up, we have Jamie Popper. She's a professional dog trainer and canine behavior specialist. Now, Jamie is passionate about strengthening the bonds between the dogs and their humans, and she does this through positive reinforcement, innovative training techniques, and she just returned from this incredible trip to Africa that I got to talk to her about at an earlier time. So we're gonna get a little bit of scoop on that today. So welcome, Jamie Popper.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, and you've got your dog Peek with you.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Peek.
Peek is a 4-year-old Australian Coolie, which I like to say is kind of like a border collie mixed with a feral cat. They're incredibly intelligent, but they are also independent and have a mind of their own.
And now we are thrilled to welcome our third expert, Alexis Devine. She's a pet parent, an artist, and a content creator best known as the human being behind Bunny, the talking sheepadoodle. Now, Alexis became a viral sensation for teaching Bunny, her sheepadoodle, to communicate using a soundboard of buttons. Now, this sparked global conversations about canine cognition. And through her creative work and community, Alexis explores the fascinating intersection between pets, their behavior, and communication. So please welcome Alexis Devine. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's great to have you here.
Yeah, it's
I
a
wish you
pleasure.
could have brought Bunny.
I know, this is not her jam. She's very sensitive, highly reactive, would not
Okay.
enjoy this
All right.
environment.
Good.
But I'll bring a stuffy next time. How about that?
That's good. And
Okay.
but she's watching at home, I'm sure.
Absolutely. She's taking notes.
All right, we're gonna dive right in. Here's our first question. This one comes from Ronnie in New Jersey, and we're going to turn to the screen to see your question.
Hi, experts. I have a question for you. If there's an emergency with my pet and I can't get to the vet right away, are there some first aid steps every pet owner should know?
Well, I think it's obvious I probably should come to Dr. Becker for this one first. First aid steps.
Yeah, so I know I look young, but I'm 70. So it's gonna happen sometime in the pet's lifetime. So what are the most common things you're gonna see? Stung by a bee, so they're gonna swell up. They're going to get in some kind of a fight where there's a wound or something. Hit by car is very uncommon anymore. We used to see it all the time when I was first practicing, but really rare to see.
Good.
And then other things are like bloat or something like that. So the first thing I would tell you to do, if something is bleeding profusely, you stop the bleeding.
Yes.
If they're having respiratory distress, there's a good chance you might not make it to the veterinarian, but you can call and get a dose. Or you can look online real quick of like Benadryl. And then the one thing I want to caution you on, and then I'll stop talking here, when dogs are in extreme pain, they bite. And I don't care if it's Bunny or Peak here, they can be the pooch pacifist and in extreme pain, so be very careful. And that's why if they're like a dog is mauled or there's a cat that something happens, wrap them up in a blanket so you protect yourself.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that advice. Jamie, let me come to you on that. Anything to add to that? Have you ever had that experience where you needed first aid for your dog or one of your
I think
pets?
it is such a great idea to educate yourself on pet first aid, and I'm also CPR certified.
Oh, perfect.
Having that in my back pocket is especially important for taking care of other people's dogs in my home. I want to have those skill sets, but I would also encourage you to have a pet first aid kit on hand. I have one that goes in my backpack with me every time I go hiking. And I'll just tell a quick story. I was out hiking with my Australian Shepherd Roo. He was in an off-leash area where he was allowed to be, and he kind of scaled a bluff, came back down, and he was bleeding profusely from his paw. We were a mile into our hike, and so I walked him down to the creek, rinsed off his paw. I took my own sock off and put it on as like a little bootie to protect him, and took a hair tie, a soft hair tie scrunchie, so that I didn't restrict any circulation, but to cover it. And then we were able to hike out and immediately go to our vet for additional treatment. But having a pet first aid kit on hand is a great resource.
Jamie, that's like a MacGyver move with your own sock and a hair tie. Just very quick thinking.
But that's one thing.
Yeah.
Keep super glue in your emergency kit, because cuts, you can super glue the cut shut.
Really?
And it may be that they take it out at the veterinary hospital, but same way you can walk on hot concrete or ice, a very rich blood supply to the feet. So.
Wow, interesting. That's great to know. Alexis, can you add anything to that? Any first aid experiences?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm fortunate enough to not have had a lot of emergencies, but I think one of the most important steps is to have a close relationship with a veterinarian, right? You want to be able to have someone that you can call and get that information from, somebody that you trust. I also agree with being prepared in the backcountry, because I live off-grid and we're constantly hiking backcountry. So I have a doggy first aid kit. I always have a doggy sling too. So if for some reason they can't walk, I can carry them out.
Thinking.
I always have water with me and super glue with me and painkillers that have been approved by my vet for my dogs at the appropriate dosages, so that if one of my dogs is injured, there is a lower likelihood of them reacting or being aggressive or causing injury to another one of my dogs or myself. Those are my tried and true tips.
Those are great tips, Alexis. And just I have a question for you about Bunny and the buttons. Can Bunny tell you if Bunny's not feeling well or is in pain with the buttons?
Oh yeah, that is one of the most impactful things that we have seen across species with the buttons is animal companions being able to communicate specifically when and where they're in pain. Bunny was able to tell me that she had a thorn in her paw, and I was able to pull it out.
Wow.
She was able to tell me that my other dog had an ear infection. There was one dog recently that was saying bone ouch, over and over again, and the guardians didn't know what that meant. And then they realized that he wasn't finishing his bones. They took him to the vet. He had jaw cancer, but they caught it early enough that he is alive today.
That is incredible.
Yeah, it's remarkable.
Oh, Bunny is amazing. The whole concept is amazing. We can do a whole show on just those, on the buttons and the communication factor. All right, so we're gonna go to our next question this one's from Rachel. Rachel, take it away.
Hi, experts. So my question is, I'm wondering, is it better to have the grain-free dog food, or is it better to just do regular food? Thanks.
Okay, so I guess this could be considered a veterinary question, but I went to you first last time. So Jamie, do you mind if I come to you on that?
Sure.
Grain-free, what do you know about it? And if you can certainly pass the question on if you'd like.
Honestly, I will say that I'm not an expert as it relates to a grain-free diet or a whole grain diet, but what I will add is that I love adding fresh foods to my dog's diet anytime that I can. So if I'm sauteing up green beans or carrots or sweet potatoes, I'm going to reserve some of those before I add a bunch of salt, pepper, garlic, and onions to the pan. I'm gonna reserve a little bit of those, and that goes on top of my dog's food. I try to do it 3 days a week. So adding in those fresh foods can certainly be beneficial to a dog. As it relates to grain-free or not, that would be something that I would refer on to a veterinarian or a nutritionist.
Okay. And before we go to the veterinarian for that answer, do you have anything to add to that, Alexis?
I mean, I would concur with what you said, that is not my wheelhouse. But I think that just like in humans, dogs can experience different sensitivities, and there might not be a one-size-fits-all diet that's going to work for every animal. So again, really important to work with your veterinarian to know your dog's individual preferences and sensitivities. And I will pass it on to Marty for the expert opinion.
So here we are in arguably the world's largest pet industry trade show. How many of the booths are pet foods or treats? Maybe 40% of what I'm just walking through.
Sure.
So everybody has a compelling story, but let me put people's mind at ease, okay? Consumer Reports, unbiased, did a study recently with boarded veterinary nutritionists in veterinary schools. How many of you in the last 2 years have seen a case of a nutritional deficiency that was a serious medical problem?
Wow.
0. What they had seen is nutritional excesses. The little old lady that only feeds chicken.
Yeah.
So basically, most foods are adequate. So, but as a veterinarian, and you guys probably know this, the better the food, the better the coat, the better the less the stool volume.
Sure.
So a lot of times as a veterinarian or you as a trainer, they just wear it like a neon thing. So there is advantages of having at least a higher quality food.
Sure.
But one last thing too, we used to say that eating dry food is better for oral health. That's the #1 most commonly diagnosed thing we've seen. That is not true. So you thought the abrasive action, and so that versus canned. So canned and dry are the same. Semi-moist sticks to the teeth. That causes more periodontal disease.
Interesting.
But the biggest thing is feeding too much. So 66% of American pets are overweight or obese. That's a much bigger issue.
Okay. I want to pivot a minute before we get to our next question, Dr. Becker, and I want you to share with our audience, if they're not familiar with Fear Free, can you tell us about the Fear Free initiative?
So Fear Free is looking at the emotional well-being of animals. And thank you for all your support, by the way, over this. So, you know, I have a new grandson that's 5 months old. And what do you do for a human child? You want him to be physically healthy and emotionally healthy. You also want him to have enrichment. So most pets that go to the veterinarian think they're going to be harmed or killed. That's just the truth. A lot of pets that go to the groomer think they're going to be harmed or killed. And so what it does is, we call it taking the pet of petrified and putting the treat into treatment. And the proof in the pudding is where I practice, where Fear Free started. 85% of the cats that aren't sick or injured take a treat. And most of the dogs that have their nails trimmed will drag their mom and dad in to have their nails trimmed. And so you have to have hungry dog, great treats, and low fear, anxiety, and stress levels.
Yeah.
But there's 400,000 people now certified.
That's fantastic. Okay, let's go to our third question. And this one comes from Simon in Massachusetts.
Hi, experts. There are so many flea and tick prevention options out there, like collars, oral meds, topical treatments. How do I know which one is the safest and most effective for my pet?
Okay, I think I'll come to you first again, Dr. Becker, on this one.
So this is interesting. There's only 80,000 companion animal veterinarians. The Super Bowl, it was in the Superdome. Every companion animal veterinarian fit in there. There's not 80,000 opinions, but there's a lot. And so when it says veterinary recommended, I'll bet you half the products in this show say veterinary recommended. That's a throwaway thing. To get an actual veterinary recommendation is very difficult. So the Zoetises, the Elanco's, the Beringers, the Mariels, they all have sales trains to try to convince people. What I would do is ask your veterinarian what they use on their own pets. And same thing for food. What do you feed your pet? That probably tells you a lot right there.
That's what I do. Anytime I have a question that I don't know how to answer, I'm like, well, sir or Miss Veterinarian, what do you do? What would you do?
Yes.
Like, you are the expert. Tell me what you would do with your own animal, and that's what I will do.
Yeah.
Can Bunny tell you if she has a flea on her back or something?
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that?
she has the word ouch that she uses,
Yeah.
and she has several body parts
Yeah.
that she'll use to describe when and where. But she can also use all sorts of gestural communication. I want to make sure that people understand that I don't just expect Bunny to use human words. I'm constantly paying attention to her body language as well. It's very much a two-way sort of scaffolded communication system. So, you know, I'm paying attention if she's scratching or licking or chewing, and she can take me to, she can guide me with her gaze or with her paw to a part of her body that's bothering her, and then we can assess the situation.
Can I add one thing just
Yeah,
real
of
quick?
course.
So I live in northern Idaho, where it is definitely 4 seasons. In the past, you used to start it in the spring, parasite control, and you end it after the second, killing frost. That is not true anymore. So even in northern Idaho now, we have a definitely increase in heartworm and leptospirosis and all these other things, but a lot of ticks. Lifetime parasite control for all pets, regardless of geographic location. So it kills external parasites, internal parasites. It's like changing oil in your car. I would highly recommend it.
So what has changed? Why can we no longer go by those seasons
The
to start
warming,
and stop?
global warming is one thing, but these things are so serious. Like if your dog, a single mosquito bite can cause heartworm disease, you're talking a $6,000 or $7,000 treatment average, and they use arsenic. So much better to prevent. It is literally arsenic to kill them.
Right. Jamie, do you have anything to add to the question about
I was
flea and
just
tick
going
prevention?
to say that in different areas of the U.S., different preventatives may work better or worse. I know that when I was living down in Florida, there was a particular one that I used that stopped working. And up in Iowa, we have all 4 seasons as well, and I use something different up there. And I'm also a big fan of, if needed, using 2 different kinds. So I will use an oral flea and tick medication, but if I am also going to be going out into a heavily wooded area, we really like going morel hunting in the early spring. So I will also put a tick collar on her when we are hiking in the deep woods so that we've got double the protection.
You just came back from an amazing trip to Africa. Can you tell us a little bit about a couple of the highlights?
Yes, so I was with Horizon Horseback in South Africa and in Botswana. Spent 8 days horseback riding across Botswana, but from here to that screen, away from giraffe and zebra and warthogs, and a little bit further away from the elephants and the big cats. But it was an incredible trip. And one of the really neat things about it is there was another pet lifestyle expert, Nicole Ellis, on the trip, and she's also a professional dog trainer. So we nerded out on watching some of the behavior of these animals. And I'll just tell one quick story. We came across a baby elephant that was ripping up shoots from the ground and then banging it on its leg before eating. And one of our guides told us that the reason they do that is to get the dirt off of the shoots before they eat it. Wow. So it was just fascinating behavior to be able to watch and really study the animals in their natural habitat without creating any fear, because we were on horseback, so they weren't concerned about what another herd animal was doing. They were just grazing alongside.
Oh, wow. That's fascinating. Oh, that's on my bucket list now.
So incredible.
Okay, you guys are doing great on time, by the way. Even you, Dr. Becker. Gold star. Fist bump for you.
Yep, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, question number 4 comes from Lorraine.
Hi, experts. My dog freaks out during thunderstorms. What can I do to calm him down when the weather gets rough?
All right, Alexis, I'm going to come to you first. What do you do? Does Bunny or any of your other animals have any fear, anxiety around noises?
Absolutely. Sound was actually one of the first buttons that I gave Bunny because she's so sensitive to it. And being able to label that experience and for her to see that I understood that she was going through something and I could sort of talk her off that ledge was really a powerful tool for us. So now she can say big sound or sound all done or want by sound.
Wow.
And she'll say things like that all the time. And she can tell me she wants to go to another room, or she can tell me that she wants me to turn a fan on, which is a powerful tool, like masking that sound. Or she can ask me for medicine if she wants perhaps an anxiolytic to help take the edge off of the sound like that. Or she can ask for scritches if she just wants a little bit of physical, emotional support, or maybe we can go for a walk. So she'll definitely let me know if a sound is causing anxiety and what she would like to do to help alleviate some of that anxiety.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Jamie, I'm gonna come to you next.
So I don't have a whole lot of advice as it relates to once your dog is already afraid of thunderstorms or fireworks, but I got Peek as a puppy, and her being confident around loud sounds, especially for being able to do stuff like this on set. We've got speakers around us, lights, cameras, all of that. It was really important to me that she be confident in that environment. So the first thunderstorm that we had, she was still in her socialization period. We went outside and we played her favorite game. And now anytime she hears fireworks going off, she's begging to go outside to play Frisbee. And that's her favorite game to play. It's a really high energy thing for her. So putting her into that high drive, a little bit more adrenaline in her system helps her think happy thoughts around fireworks and thunderstorms. And so we did that early conditioning in her socialization period. So the more that you can do to build confidence with your puppy around loud sounds while they're young, the more likely they will be able to tolerate that later on in their life. But I've also heard about all kinds of different calming supplements. And one that I'm particularly interested in maybe hearing your thoughts on is Cilio, the fast-acting noise phobia pharmaceutical. So it sounds, I'm seeing a good happy dance there.
There's my happy dance. So walking through this, I saw 2 products that I know for a fact don't work. I'm not going to name them.
Okay.
But that's why I got to be careful. Like tryptophan, we always think of turkey and that. It does not work in dogs. And some of the other products need to be in much higher doses. But we did a study with pets in Anaheim that were within 2 miles of Disneyland.
Okay.
So if you got a noise phobia, you don't want to live 2 miles from Disneyland at 10
Right.
p.m. every night. So there are drugs, and I love, she knows all the terms, anxiolytics. They are dirt cheap. Like alprazolam is generic Xanax. It literally costs a few pennies, and it works every time. Cilio is an FDA-approved product. It's dexmedetomidine gel. That's what we use on our horses to shoe. One of the little mares is freaked out by shoeing. Wipe the gel on her gums. Pretty soon she's like her head's hanging down like this. But what I would say to people, noise phobias tend to become more generalized. So first it's thunderstorms, then it's fireworks, then it's hunting season, then it's snow sliding off the roof, then it's rumble strips. So it's something you should treat. And there's, whether it's through your trainer or your veterinarian, there are a lot of solutions. But I'm gonna give one tip now. I'll give a tip that, Ron, this is gonna kill it. You ready for this? For most dogs with thunderstorm, there's a buildup of static electricity in their coat before the thunderstorm. That's why dogs want to get in a shower, on concrete, in a car. You can take an unscented baby wipe and wipe across the whole trunk of your dog. If there's thunderstorms in there, in about half the dogs, they will never get a noise phobia just because they don't get a buildup of static electricity.
Really? That's fascinating.
That is fascinating.
Unscented baby wipe.
Unscented baby wipe.
Okay.
Oh, no, I said it wrong.
What?
Oh, gosh, thank you, repeated it.
Yeah.
The fabric softener sheets.
Oh, fabric
I'm sorry,
softener.
I said
Okay.
it completely wrong,
That's
sorry.
okay.
But just wipe it on the trunk of their body, and it can be just
And
amazing.
we all have those, you know?
We all have those, yeah.
Don't rub a
Yes.
balloon on them is what you're saying?
Don't rub your feet on the carpet.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Remember, your own pet, it's best to talk to your own veterinarian or your own dog trainer about any issues that you have because they know your pet best. So always reach out to them first. And if you have a question you'd like to see answered on The Experts, just grab your phone, record yourself asking the question, and send it to dogtv.com/experts. So until next time, take care of your pets.